Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice. If you are new here, welcome. It is so nice to have you. This is a channel all about reselling online. So I sell on 3 platforms currently, that is eBay, Etsy and Poshmark. And I do all that while I am a stay-at-home parent to 3 young boys. So I do it part-time, 1 or 2 hours a day, and I do it in order to contribute financially to my family, to take us on vacations occasionally and to help us pay down debt being the main thing. So if any of that interests you, I would love to have you hang out some more, and please do consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Okay, so today is a big one. First of all, Happy New Year to anybody who is watching this close to the 1st of January. That is today's date that I am filming this, and this is going to be about my 2019 goals, specifically my professional goals, my reseller goals for the upcoming year. So I've been thinking long and hard about how I want to go about goal making this year. I have been in a very bad habit the last 2 years where I set myself goals and then I never look at them again. Maybe like New Year's Eve I will pull them out and be like, oh, met a few, forgot about a few, I don't know. But that seems like a waste of energy, obviously. So I'm not doing that this year. I'm not going to be making a huge list of goals. I'm not going to be like doing subcategories and this and that like I have been in past years. I have stuck real simple. I have 6 goals. I'm looking at my piece of paper because I've got more written down. I have got 6 goals, and they are fairly fluid, I suppose you could say. A couple of them are pretty defining and a couple of them are just like kind of roll with it. I'm taking a very sort of laid back, easy, relaxed view to this year as of right now. I am all about hustling. I'm all about working in pretty much all of my spare time, truth be told, which isn't much with 3 kids running around, but whatever moment I do get, whether it be in the mornings, the evenings, nap time, quiet time, I am pretty much always working, which is good because that has done amazing things for us in terms of like almost paying off all of our debt except for our mortgage, all of our consumer debt, which was a lot, I'll be honest, and that journey has been going on now for 7 or 8 years, and we're so close to the end. But that's been amazing to be able to do that. It's been amazing to be able to take a few vacations and stuff, or cash flow things like when we needed a new air conditioner. You know, this work at home stuff while raising a family absolutely works in my opinion, and so I'm super grateful to have been able to do what I have done already. But this year, like I said, we're getting really close to that paying off debt goal, which I'll talk about in just a little while, and I'm ready to breathe a little bit. I'm ready for a bit more balance. So anyway, before I keep whittering on, let's just crack on and do goal number 1. Okay, so the very first goal I have for 2019 is to nurture Etsy back to life. I don't know how this is going to go. I have had a really hard time last year, 2018, with Etsy, but there are a few things that correlate with that. So previously it had been a good source of income for me, and particularly in 4th quarter it had brought in, you know, several hundred a week, you know, close to 1,000 a month at times, and that being sort of my secondary platform to eBay, which always brought in more. So it was always nice to just kind of cross post, you know, the listing's already done on eBay, pop it on over to Etsy, which by the way, if you're wondering how you would go about cross posting, I'll link that video down below. I did a whole video on how I cross post from eBay to Etsy to Poshmark, so that might be useful for somebody who was wondering what that looks like. But since the listings are already there anyway, you know, I always just kind of popped them on over. Well, I've pretty much stopped doing that with Etsy. I do it occasionally when I think of it, very occasionally if I'm really honest, and then I kind of just leave it. It's very much a list it and forget it. I've also started putting in less effort in terms of being intentional with my tags on Etsy because that is time consuming. I don't know if I'm going to go back to really paying that a lot of mind, but I do think I'm going to prioritize cross-posting on Etsy in one fluid motion, eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, each time I have a vintage item that would apply to all of those categories. So really the experiment is going to be in the 1st quarter, the first 3 months, is that going to make a difference? I'm going to give it 3 months of really intentionally trying to resurrect Etsy to see if I can improve my traffic, and then obviously my sales to do that with that as well, but absolutely just seeing if I can sort of be in the favor of the algorithm gods again when it comes to Etsy, because I have definitely falling out of favor at this point. But so that's goal number 1. Bring Etsy back to life. Goal number 2 is kind of to do with Etsy, but it's also really going to apply as well to eBay, is I'm going to explore hard goods again. So this last year, I very much went heavy into clothing. That is vintage clothing and contemporary clothing, and that's because I can find it at such a low cost of goods. I go to a lot of church rummage sales. I do yard sales and thrift stores as well, but rummage sales are really like where it's at for me. I have a few that are frequent, and absolutely as the season picks up in sort of spring all the way through to fall, really, I prioritize them, and my goal is always to buy as much as I possibly can at those low like filler bag rummage sale prices. So clothing was a natural progression for me. It also is far easier for me to store and far easier for me to ship with a busy like mom life running around. So it was really a no-brainer. However, that kind of came at a cost, because clothing as a market, like a resale market, it is thriving, obviously. Like, hello, Poshmark is doing fantastic, but it's also fairly saturated, and there's a lot of people, you know, getting into that. There's a lot of the same products, you know, almost everybody can come up with a pair of Ann Taylor Loft career pants. That's not to say that I wouldn't pick that stuff up, because if it's low cost, I absolutely do. But I really want to start exploring more of my like vintage hard goods sort of market again, where I can kind of hold my own a little bit in terms of the stuff that I have to offer. So like I said, that will apply to Etsy and to eBay. And again, I'm going to be sourcing this stuff still at rummage sales and estate sales and yard sales. So it's not like my cost of goods should really go up. It's just that I have to make peace with the fact that storing it, photographing it, and shipping it might be a bit more arduous. But that's where, you know, watching other channels online or being part of forums and things like that to give me an idea of what's selling and what might be worth a second look is absolutely a good place to start in terms of preparing for what I would want to buy. If you're wondering what kind of YouTube channels I do watch in order to give me an idea and to kind of educate myself on what the market is like in, you know, whether it be clothing or vintage or hard goods, again, I will link below. I have a video all about the 10 reseller channels that I absolutely love to watch right now. So if you're interested in finding some new channels, go ahead and check out that video, and hopefully I'll give you a few new names as well that'll kind of get the ball rolling for you too. Okay, the next goal that I have is to actively schedule my work life. What I mean by that is right now I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, like I described before. So I'll get up in the morning, I'll make a cup of coffee, I'll get the kids their breakfast and everyone fairly settled, and then I'll hop on the computer and I'll start doing the things that I consider opening up shop. So that would be sharing my items, sharing the items of certain other shops that I kind of have a bit of a collaboration going with at this point. We just kind of share each other's bits and share each other's closets and things like that on Poshmark, and that kind of gets things going, gets a little bit of action and interaction happening in my closet. And then maybe I'll do some relisting. I always try and do at least 2 listings sat there with my coffee, because again, I feel like that just kind of like gets things going, gets the ball rolling, wakes up the algorithm in my, I don't know, but I feel like that's a really positive step for me to take right at the beginning of the day. However, things change. Someone is sick, or someone spills their cereal, or someone just doesn't want to go play a game. You know, life happens. We have to be somewhere at an appointment, and it falls by the wayside and I don't meet those goals, and I find that so incredibly frustrating, if I'm being really honest. Like, it's not good for me. It makes me irritable, it makes me feel stressed, it makes me feel overwhelmed really quickly. So in order to counteract that this coming year, since we're trying to do things more relaxed and positive, I am going to attempt to schedule my work life in a way that is going to be far more functional. So that might look like, you know, getting up a little bit earlier in the morning before the kids get up and doing like ABC, and then getting their breakfast, and then knowing I have to do, you know, D, but it won't take as long, so it can absolutely be adaptable to anything that's going on in the background. And then, you know, in the evenings it's this, and I'm going to have a checklist as well. That's another thing I'm doing. I'm going to have a checklist of the basics. Everything that I just kind of like whittled off to you just there that I do in the morning, I just do that off of the top of my head, which again is overwhelming. So think about like if anyone's ever worked like in fast food and you're closing up at the end of the night, you have one of those lists, right? That you have to tick off that you've done everything on it before you can lock up. Well, that is what I'm going to have for my work day. I'm going to have a list that applies every single day, telling me exactly what I need to achieve, and it's not going to be outrageous. You know, my minimal listings that I try to do each day is 5. That can be broken up into across the course of the day, or first thing in the morning, or last thing at night, but I try and do 5. So that will be a category that I can tick off. And you know what? When those 5 are done, that's okay. I don't have to do any more. If I want to, I can, and my personality actually naturally just wants to do more, which may be why I'm stressed. I'm not sure. But the main thing being, when they're done, I can give myself grace at that point, and that's part of what I want this year to go like as well, is to be a little bit more forgiving and to stop and breathe a little bit more and enjoy the home life that we have going on. It's not just about work. It's about working at home for a reason. I forget that almost every single day, but I'm going to try my best to remember it this year. The next goal number 4, is going to be to kill that debt. So we have one debt left, other than our mortgage. Our mortgage is coming up next, but one like consumer debt left. It is our van, our minivan that we have there, and we are on schedule to finish that by the end of first quarter. And then we have a few things financially happening that's going to allow us to prayerfully take care of like our emergency fund and start really building that up properly. So those are the 2 big financial goals: the kill the debt, the emergency fund. They are absolutely the priority of the first half of this year. It needs to get done. It will open the doorway to all kinds of other things, and this has been a long journey to get here, and we are so close, and so there is no stopping now. So that is the first thing that we're going to be doing, and essentially we try and everything comes out of my husband's income, which is our primary income in terms of like house and lights and food and stuff. And then if we need extras, like we need the car worked on, or we need something for the house, that also is able to come out of that. And then we can also save some of that as well, prayerfully every month, to go towards it. But my income as a reseller, every single penny of it at this point goes towards the debt. So that allows us to build up those payments really quickly, and I am so forever grateful about that. And so since that is my income's primary like need, its motivation as it were, we are hopefully going to kill that really quickly, and then we get to decide the amazing choice that we will have as to what will happen next with our income. And actually sort of another slash goal is a vacation. We have gone on vacation a few times since we've been paying off debt, and we managed to go to Disney World twice last year, which is amazing, with some fantastic offers that were on and some extra hard hustling on our part, because we don't want to miss the little years, and we do obviously like to spend that quality time as a family. I'm aware that it's an expensive vacation, but with 3 little kids, it is honestly one of the most amazing places that we've been able to go, where we feel like as a family we all get something out of it, and it isn't just working away from home for us as a parent. I hope that doesn't sound awful, but yeah, that's just where we stand, so sorry about that. But yes, we hope to go on vacation again this year after all of that debt is finally done, and that emergency fund is good and plumped up. Okay, and the final goal, that was kind of like 4 and 5 all together, because like vacation was one of them. We'll call that 4 and 5. So goal number 6. Oh, we got there in the end. 6. Goal number 6 is that I would like to prioritize through YouTube, and also just through like my Poshmark closet and through Instagram, showing active support of other people in this community. So if you are new to the reseller community, I'm sure you have seen quite a few videos popping up now being suggested to you on Instagram. I'm sure you see a lot of different people posting. It is a phenomenal community. We educate each other, we support and uplift each other, we can moan to each other when we need to, because there are some elements of this that definitely make you kind of like facepalm. But I would like to, in the upcoming year, go ahead and share my support in any way I can. That may be just making sure that I take the time to look at some people's Instagram posts and comment rather than just like, and get some interactions going. That might be sharing one new person's closet every single day, and might be welcoming more people to Posh. It may be doing more shout outs, like the video I mentioned earlier about the 10 other reseller YouTubers that I just think are fantastic. They're out there, and there's a lot more than 10, don't get me wrong, but they're just the 10 off the top of my head that every time I see them post I'm like, heck yes, I'm watching that. And I'm just wanting to make sure that when other people are producing fantastic content or sharing great tips, that I am there to try and back them up and to pay it forward, and to also give them kind of a virtual high five, because it's not easy putting yourself out there and sharing a lot of stuff and taking the time and the effort to do that, but boy is it valuable to other people in the community. So let's all nurture that this year. Why the heck not? And that's it. Those are my 2019 professional reseller goals. Please stop by in the comments and drop your personal professional goals down there. I would love to see what is driving you and motivating you this upcoming year, and hopefully we can be a supportive community together and we can get stuff done. Heck yeah. All right guys, happy new year. Have a wonderful day with friends and family. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.